What's up, fight fans? Welcome to the Zapata brand podcast, boxing edition. And today I will be previewing the upcoming bout between Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev. This upcoming fight on Saturday is going to be an interesting one. It's probably the closest 50-50 fight that we've seen in a very long time. It takes place in Saudi Arabia on Saturday night. Artur Beterbiev is 20-0 with 20 knockouts. No one's made it to the final round with him. Dmitry Bivol, 23-0 with 12 knockouts. He is a master boxer. And then both of them have great amateur records. We know that Bivol is a favorite, and he's a favorite, I think, because of Beterbiev being out for so long with that little injury. Now, that knee injury is not such a necessarily big injury. The meniscus is a very, very, very small. You don't that if there's a knee injury you want, it's going to be that one. You don't want the ACL, MCL. You don't want that. The meniscus is very easy to repair, and that doesn't take as long. And the recovery and the physical therapy is not as extensive as the other ones are. Though, if they're going to have one, that's the one you want to have. So here's my thoughts. I believe that if Artur is going to win this fight, he's going to have to be willing to box a little more than normal instead of using his brute strength. Now, here's the thing. People don't believe that Artur Beterbiev is a great boxer. He is. You can't have 300 and some amateur fights and not be that good. You have to know he has great footwork. He actually does. That is why I believe he's going to have difficulty catching up with Dmitry Bivol. Dmitry is a classic boxer. He has a very unique style. The Eastern European bloc, that's their MO. They have a very weird style. He sticks that jab out effectively, comes around and uses different punches and different angles, and most of the time goes out and wins a unanimous decision. But he does have some pop, and he hasn't been hurt other than one time I saw him get rocked at the end of a round. But Beterbiev, on the other hand, has been down by a guy named Chad Johnson. And I believe he's been knocked down a couple times, but Chad Johnson was the one I looked at. And I brought this up with Kevin Ioli one time on our last live. Chad Johnson is a guy who has 120 losses, and he was dropped. He's a British fighter. That didn't bode good with me. I said, wow, you know what? Maybe everyone's just so worried about Beterbiev's brute strength that they're backing up so much. Chad Johnson pushed back, caught him, and hurt him. That's not to say that Beterbiev has not fought anybody. I'm not saying that. But I think Dmitry Bivol is a little bit different. He's a guy who could take those angles and expose him a little bit. Here's what I think happens. I think if Artur Beterbiev comes out storming out of the corner, may overwhelm Bivol. I don't think he can, but there's a slight possibility he may overwhelm him. I think Bivol is a little bit too good for that. But it could happen. Don't be shocked if it does happen. What I do believe the better scenario is Dmitry Bivol boxes his way to a very close but unanimous 12-round decision and becomes the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. Beterbiev is 39 as he's approaching later, and now his injuries are starting to pile up as he's approaching that later part of his career. He had 305 amateur fights. Those take a lot out of you. He's been going all over the world as an amateur. Takes a lot out of you. Fought a bunch of different styles. Dmitry, I believe, has almost 300 fights too, almost, but he has 15 losses. But he's a guy who's it has that Eastern bloc, in and out boxing style, weird hooks, jumping in, coming back, stepping back, throwing a jab, coming everything behind his jab, and finally kind of wears you down towards the end. That is why I'm going to stick with my pick of Dmitry Bivol by close but unanimous decision. Guys, look forward to the fight this Saturday. This is one of the 50-50 fights. It's a must-see fight if you're into boxing. There's a unification of the 175-pound division. This will become the undisputed champion, and rightfully so, this Saturday in Saudi Arabia. Remember, guys, don't be envious of what I've accomplished in my life. Be inspired by what you can do in yours. Enjoy the fights.
Thanks for watching the Zapata brand podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.